Well, we love hiking and we love Zion Park. I think Zion is the second highest traffic national park. Is that what the person said when we
That's
went into the
correct.
park a little while ago? And it's an absolutely fantastic park. However, as with many of the national parks, you can get caught up in crowds to where it can drastically affect and even potentially just make it not so much of a fun day. Well, welcome to our channel. We're traveling with Chris and Wendy, and we have a great suggestion for hiking in Zion National Park to where you can do it pretty much without the crowds. Now, we took a hike called Sandbench Trail. It's also called Sandbench Loop, and it's about a 6 or 7 mile trail, and it comes right off of the lodge. It's a little bit longer if you go straight from the lodge. That's what we did. It's probably 7.5 mile loop if you go straight from the lodge. But that's convenient because there's a shuttle stop there. There's also, if it's not high season, there's usually reasonable parking there. Now, here are the pros and cons of this trail, and ultimately it's a fantastic trail. And we'll summarize it at the end as to why I think it's so valuable and so worth it. First off, you go as if you're going to the Emerald Pools. There's a little truss bridge, footbridge that takes you across Virgin River, and you'll take a left. Instead of going to the right, which would take you to the Emerald Pools, you go to the left, and you're going to then be going the equivalent of south. And you're going to start along the river, and it's a fairly straightforward trail, really nice soft sand on it. And on one hand, that makes it a little bit of a tougher trek, but it's also a little bit easier on the old people's knees like ours. And you're going to walk for a little while. You're going to walk, like I said, in view of the river, along the river. And then at some point, you're going to turn right and you're going to head up into the hills. As you do that, you're going to definitely have some vertical climb. This is listed, I believe, as a moderate trail.
Moderate, yes, that's correct.
And I would say this is on the tougher side of moderate, simply because it's about a 6+ mile trail, and also you gain about 750 feet in elevation. Now you do this over probably a mile or two stretch, so it's not excessively steep, but it's consistently up. Now, to enjoy this trail to its maximum, I would suggest you take the right branch of the loop first. That will be about a half a mile to a mile from the bridge when you cross the river, and you'll see a sign that says Sandbench Trail, and you'll take a right. Now from that point forward, you're already starting to go up. You're going to consistently go up for quite a while, and you're going to be kind of in and out of some trees, some evergreens, some deciduous trees, and you're going to walk up that trail, and the view is just going to get more and more grand as you get up there. You're surrounded by the canyon. You at first don't have that much of a view of the canyon. You just see a lot of trees, and it's quite a very pleasant walk. And a side note, if you want to do this in the summertime, I would be aware that it's probably going to be quite hot, and you're going to make sure that you bring a lot of water with you. So you're going to walk up this trail. I have a nice little video of Wendy trailing along behind me, and I was trying to pick on her, and as I listened to the audio, all I could hear is myself breathing heavily. So apparently we both were struggling a little bit. And after 2 or 3 miles or so, you're going to be at somewhat the peak of the trail, and you're going to be fairly close to the rock edge, and you're going to be able to see an incredible view of Zion Valley and the Virgin River Valley. And you're going to hike along through some sagebrush, and you're going to come to the end of the loop fairly soon. And what's really interesting is as you get close to the end of the loop, the feeling of the terrain changes because you suddenly kind of start walking into a little bit of a brush forest, which is a combination of, again, the deciduous trees and the evergreen. So you start off in those types of trees, and then you go into sagebrush where it's fairly open. And if it's summertime and the sun's beating down on you and it's 95 degrees, I don't think it would be a pleasant walk. But again, that's your personal taste. You're going to come, as you come to the end of the loop, or the peak of the loop, to where you're going to turn back, you're going to run into a nice little area where they allow you to corral your horses. If you're on a horse, that's great. We obviously walked, but they have a picnic bench, a little garbage can there, and a corral for the horses. And we sat and we had a snack. We drank some water and had some snacks that we brought with us and had a very pleasant little picnic. Then we continued walking, and you kind of walk through a little bit of a rock garden with fairly large boulders to your right and to your left. And as you're turning back and starting to go north again, you'll start hitting the edge of a cliff, as in you're walking parallel to it, and they have little areas where you can kind of stand to the right. Now, let me tell you why this is such a pleasant walk. When you go to Zion, and we did this in very, very early March, the day before we took the trail up to Angel's Landing. We didn't do Angel's Landing, but we went to Scout's Lookout, and we probably passed or in some way encountered easily 200 to 300, if not 400 or 500 people. On this trail, Sandbench Trail, we probably encountered 5 people, if that. I think it was 2 couples that we ran across. And it was an incredibly pleasant day. I think it was 68 degrees, sunny. It was a great day to be in the park. People just don't tend to take that trail. On paper, when you look at the map, it looks kind of boring. It just looks like you're walking up and down the valley, but it's absolutely beautiful trail. And I would highly recommend it if you're looking to avoid the crowd. You can walk back from the farthest point of the trail when you're walking back north and you're going along the, you're not right next to the cliff edge, but you bounce back and forth anywhere from 15 feet from it to more than that. They have these little open areas where you can go over there and take a picture, and you don't have to compete with anyone to get these pictures. Literally, there was no one anywhere near us. So we could stand where we wanted, sit where we wanted, set up the camera if we wanted, and just take selfies or pictures of the valley. It was very much a pleasant surprise at how empty this trail was. And then you walk down, as in you start to lose your elevation. And I recommended you turn right. And one of the main reasons I recommend you turn right is as you're walking up, if you're anything like us, you're going to get out of breath. We can handle it, but we're out of breath. And you're spending a lot of time looking at your feet, looking forward, looking at your feet, and you're breathing heavy. It's harder to enjoy the scenery. There's much more scenery coming back. And it's a fairly gradual downhill when you're downhill. When it's uphill, it just seems much steeper. And you really got to enjoy the terrain, the rocks, the trees, the view. It was absolutely fantastic. Then you meet the trail again, where the loop comes back to meet itself. And then you continue north, and you'll walk over a trail that you've already walked some. And it's probably another 1.5 miles or so from that point till you get to the lodge. And the lodge is always pleasant. It's got restrooms there. You can grab a snack if you want to, if you park there. If not, then they have shuttles running from there. But overall, I really want to recommend this trail if you really enjoy the Zion Park and you want to take an afternoon and not be in the crowds. You can see the entire valley. You can also see the switchbacks that the cars take to go up to the Zion Tunnel. You can see some massive cliff faces. You can really see just the grandeur of all the red rocks around you. We recommend this, and if you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. And we love our followers, and we love being able to do this content. We love being able to travel and express some of these bits of information that can be helpful. So thanks a bunch. We'll see you in the next video.